Hey, have you ever been to a surprise party? Or better yet, have you ever been the recipient of one? Well, they're a combination of shock and joy. But stick around. There's a surprise in store that you don't want to miss. But before we get to that surprise, you won't be shocked if I welcome you to Mornings with Bishop Robert. But it really fills me with joy to be here with you. My goal is to introduce people to the Jesus they never knew and help them get to know Him and His Word personally and better. So if our time together today speaks to your heart, let me invite you to like, subscribe, and share with a friend. There's going to be a surprise party, and you're invited. Well, naturally, before the party starts, there's going to be lots of preparation. But even that's going to be more fun than you'd expect. Yep, there's going to be a surprise party, and you're invited because the party's for you. Hey, here's the first surprise. Even though the party's for you, you get to participate in the preparation. And you still won't have a clue when the party's going to start. Now, I know that's hard to comprehend, but it's true. So here's the thing you want to keep in mind. Get ready for the party. Be ready for the party. In fact, stay ready for the party. Now, I know this is sounding very confusing and I'm being deliberately cagey. But after all, we are talking about a surprise party, right? Okay, here's the second surprise. Although you may have guessed it. God is the one who's throwing this party. And He's planning all the details. He's orchestrated everything, and He's footing the bill. Now, today's verse will set the stage for His preparations. It says, "Now to Him who is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all that we ask or think, according to the power that works in us." Well, if you're a regular here, then you're aware that I've just spent about a dozen days helping the folks that were victims of Hurricane Ian, a massive Category 4 hurricane that slammed into Southwest Florida and caused massive damage. So let's pretend for a minute that you lived right in the worst hit spot of Fort Myers. Imagine that you're standing beside what was once your house, next to a car that was flooded, flipped, and crushed beyond recognition. I mean, as close as you can figure, there's got to be $500,000 worth of damage. And no insurance. It's a hopeless mess. But then what if I show up and introduce you to someone who pulls out his checkbook and writes you a check for $1 million? Surprise! He says, "This is all for you, to cover all the damages and provide for future needs. You don't have to do anything but reach out and take it. It's yours." Well, as you take the money in amazement, you discover that he's not done. The man says, "By the way, there's plenty more where that came from. Let's stay in touch. Just let me know what you need. I'll cover it." Super surprise! You'd be grateful beyond measure. I mean, all the mess of the storm would be seen in a very different light. I mean, that which appeared horrible has just been turned around completely. Why, you might even look over at your house and laugh. What you wouldn't do is brag about the power and the skill and the brains you had to reach out and take that check. Of course not. You received grace, pure and simple. You got an incredible gift that you didn't deserve, and it was provided only on the basis of someone else's generosity. Your present position is 100% due to the benefactor and 0% due to you. But then he lets you know that he's still not done. He says, do you have any friends or family that were impacted by the storm? I mean, as I said, I've got plenty, and I'm here to give it to the folks who need help. Ha! Triple surprise! Can you imagine not wanting to tell your brother and sister who live one street over? Or your best friends who live just a couple houses down from yours? You've just been given a gift so amazing, and you've got the chance to share it with others. How could you not tell them? Hey, what about the neighbor who just moved in across the street last week? You don't even know his name. But there he stands, looking at a pile of rubble that used to be all he owned. Wouldn't you shout out, Hey, there's someone here I want you to meet, as you walked the man with the checkbook across the street? In fact, is there anyone in the mess of the hurricane you would not tell? And what if your neighbor said, this isn't a good time to talk. I've got a big mess on my hands to deal with. Would you just walk away? Or would you insist and say, No. This is someone you need to meet now. You'd insist because you know what your neighbor doesn't. You know he's not done. Surprise! You see, God is able to bless you abundantly so that in all things, at all times, having all you need, you will abound in every good work. That's the God working in us part. I'm talking about a God who meets all our needs, not about a God who meets all our demands or our every desire. The gospel's not the key to ultimate prosperity and luxury private jets and vacation homes. Not at all. The gospel of Jesus Christ is Jesus working out the plan that he has for your life. It's him directing you into the good works that he prepared in advance for you to walk in, and providing everything you need along the way to do them. God will provide and increase your resources, and then he'll produce a great harvest of generosity in you. The blessings he brings are not yours to hoard. They're yours to give. The greatness of his power toward us who believe, the working of his great might, it's immeasurable. But all this giving and living is still just preparation. One day, the Lord will tap you on the shoulder and say, Surprise! It's time to come home. And that's when the real party begins. Because he's still not done. Hey, surprise, we're out of time. And you're still here. But since you are, can I ask you to help me introduce people to the Jesus they never knew, and help them get to know him and his word personally and better? Would you please like this video? It'll help more people see it. And then click follow or subscribe so that you and I can get together every day. Really, I mean it. Just reach up right now and click that button. Then I'd love to meet you in the comments section and hear about the surprises that are going on in your life. It's also a great place to leave a question if you got one. Hey, one more thing. Share this with a friend. It's the message that you got and you can share. Because as you do, you're part of the team, touching more than 1 million hearts all over the world with the love of Jesus. Thanks for helping.